I am so glad that you guys are here. Y'all glad to be here? Yeah, would y'all give another warm welcome to all those watching online? Maybe you're watching live or you're tuning in at a later date. We are so thrilled to have you with us. Let us know in the chat right now where you're tuning in from. We love to see that. We love to see where you guys are when you're tuning in. If you haven't subscribed to Relevant Youth yet, then what are you doing on YouTube? Like, why are you even there? Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel so you don't miss any of our content. We're going through this whole series this month. Y'all remember what it's called? I heard it. What was it? Made for more. How many of y'all believe you were made for more? All right, so I hope by the end of the night you all believe you were made for more. I have a question for you, though. Have you ever taken bad advice from someone before? Anybody? Someone gave you advice, you followed it, and you're like, oh, that was terrible advice. Why did I listen? That was the worst. Y'all can relate to that? I remember when I was in 5th grade. What grade? I was in 5th grade, and I had a crush on this girl. I know, I'm guilty. I had a crush on her from like kindergarten on to the 5th grade, and it took me 5 years to build up the courage to be like, I'm going to ask her out. I'm going to ask her out. And so I was meeting with my friend. His name was Brian, and that's his real name. So Brian, if you're watching, let's hang out sometime. It's been like 30 years. So I was like, yo, this is what's going to happen. I'm going to ask her out. I'm not going to mention her name just it's not important. I'm going to ask her out today at recess. Because that's when it happens, right? That's when it takes place. So I was like, I'll ask her out at recess. But I don't know how. I don't know how to ask her out. Do you have any ideas? What should I say? Never done this before. And I was wearing this necklace, and it had a Chinese symbol on it. And he's like, I got a brilliant idea. Give me your necklace. It's like, okay. I gave him my necklace. He said, I'm going to write her a note, and I want you to give it to her. I said, okay, sounds good. The note said, Dear whoever, this is my necklace, and this necklace means flirt in Chinese. Pretty good, huh? Should I keep going, or is that enough? Keep going? Okay. This necklace means flirt. Are y'all ready to cringe? And that's what I do every time I see you. Oh, isn't that bad? That was the worst. And that was it. And then at the end said, will you be my girlfriend? Yes or no? No option or maybe. No other option. This is yes or no. I was pretty confident. And so he folded it up. He put the necklace in there. He folded it up. And he goes, give this to her. I was like, this is great advice. Like, this is perfect. So I took the note, and I was feeling good. And so I found her at recess, and I said, hey, here you go. I want you to read this. She opened it up, and the necklace kind of fell down to the ground. I'm like, you need that. That's important. That's an important part of this whole process. And she read it. You know what she said to me? She said nothing. She just laughed at me. She just laughed at me and then ran away. I'm still waiting for an answer to this day. I'm just kidding, I'm not. But she just laughed at me and ran away. I had never, in that point in my life, had never been so humiliated. I went back to my friend Brian, and I was like, oh, that was terrible. That wasn't good. That wasn't even remotely good. Why in the world did you think that was a good idea? He just said, I don't know. That was his reasoning. That was terrible advice. And sometimes, maybe you can relate to that. You've asked advice from someone, they gave you advice, you followed it, and it was just the worst advice. And you felt so let down and so terrible, didn't you? Because see, seeking advice from others can often lead us to less than great moments. To less than great moments. And we ask others for advice into our lives and what we should do. And then we follow that advice and it's terrible. We feel let down. It's like, oh, why did I fall for that? This is the worst. it's less than what I had hoped for. And I want you to know tonight that you are made for more than less than. That you are made for more than less than. And do we have any iPhone fans in here? What about Android? There's 2 of you for a reason. Oh, there's 3 of you. A whole row of Android users? Who let you in here? I'm just kidding. All are welcome, even Android users. I graduated from Android like 12 years ago. It's fine. One day. Well, we have iPhone users? Yeah, okay. Let me ask you a question. If you had issues with your iPhone, would you take it to a friend to fix? No. Like serious issues. Like I'm talking about serious issues. Would you take it to a friend to fix? No. Who would you take it to? The Apple store? Probably the Apple store or listen, probably an Apple store or a certified Apple retail store. That makes sense, right? That you would take the broken phone to the company who created it. Right? Does that make sense? Guys, you're an Android user, okay? But for the rest of us, that makes sense. If my phone is broken, if my phone is messed up, my iPhone or even my Android, I'm going to take it to someone who works with phones, who creates phones, who repairs phones. Can we all agree that makes sense? Then when we're experiencing troubles in life and we're experiencing different trials, like why do we go to people who have no idea about life for life advice? We go to friends who are our age, who haven't really lived very long lives, and we ask them for advice about life. If you're experiencing troubles in life, would you agree it's probably best to start with the one who created life? The one who created life, who formed you in your parents' womb, that maybe that's where we should start. That we should spend more time probably reading our Bible, praying to God, seeking His will for our life, seeing what the Bible says about life. I'm not saying that there's not people out there who can't help you, like professional counselors or your small group leaders or people who are wise, who have experienced things that you're experiencing, who could probably give you some wise input. But oftentimes, those are the last people we go to. And even more often, we leave God out of the whole thing. We're going through issues at home or school with friends, boyfriend, girlfriend, and you're going to your friends who haven't experienced life. They don't really know anything about life, and we're asking them what we should do. You haven't even brought your issue to God, who designed life and created life. You haven't asked anybody who maybe has experienced life. I believe that you're made for more. But when you don't seek the one who made more, you're settling for less than. I want to read this passage out of Ephesians chapter 2, verse 1 through 2. We talked about 2 weeks ago. I just want to kind of go a little bit deeper into it. It says this: it wasn't so long ago that you were mired in that old, stagnant life of sin, that you were living in sin, that you were stuck in a life of sin, bad decisions, dysfunction. You let the world, who? You let who? The world. You let the world, which doesn't know the first thing about living, who has no experience, no wisdom, doesn't understand what God's design for life was, you let them tell you how to live. Go back to that slide. You filled your lungs with polluted unbelief, and you exhaled disobedience. You filled yourself with opinions and thoughts and advice from the world, and you're wondering why it's so hard to breathe right now. I have so much anxiety. I have so much going on, and I'm so stressed, and I don't know what to do, because you're asking what to do from people who don't know what to do. You were made for more. You were made by God, and you were designed with a purpose. You were made for more, and when you don't seek Him for life advice, you are settling for less. You let the whole world, which doesn't know the first thing about living, tell you how to live. You seek it from Instagram. You seek it from TikTok. You seek it from Discord, from Snapchat, from WhatsApp. You seek acceptance and advice and wisdom from all these places, and you leave God out of it. Let me ask you this. I'm not going to ask you to raise your hands. This is just rhetorical, which means you don't answer out loud. But how many of you are asking your friends relationship advice, and your friends are all, you don't have to answer that. You're asking your friends relationship advice, and the friends you're asking are in and out of relationships every other week. You're like, hey, what should I do? Me and Sarah are having some issues right now. I don't know. And you're asking your friend who's been in 7 relationships in the last 3 months. And you're wondering why your relationship's got dysfunction. You're seeking advice from the world who doesn't know the first thing about living. They don't know. They're figuring it out too. You and me, we're all looking to live a good life. We want a life that's full of fulfillment. We want a life that's exciting, full of joy. We want the good life. Who wants the good life, right? Kanye West sang it best in 2008. I'm living the good life. Like, this is the good life. From Atlanta to LA, we're living the good life. And y'all don't even know what I'm talking about, but my leaders do. You want to live the good life, and you're seeking the good life from everyone except the one who gave us life. God's up there like, hey, I'm right here. I can help you. My word can help you navigate this situation. My word can help you navigate this drama. My word can help you navigate what's happening at home. My word can help you navigate what's happening in school. I'm right here. I want a relationship with you. I want you to listen to me. Would you just give me a chance? You and me were too busy asking those around us, like, what do you think I should say? How do I ask her out? We're having issues over here. My mom said this. What should I say back to her? How do I react? And then we're wondering why we're just getting piled on and on and on with more dysfunction and anxiety. Because we're seeking advice from a world who doesn't know the first thing about living. You and me, we were made for more. You were made for more. So don't settle for less.